Hello, I'm Dr. Grace Prescott, and today I want to have an open, honest, and above all, informative conversation with you, men over 50, 60, or beyond. We're diving into a topic that's critical for your health, but often surrounded by silence and taboos. Many are curious, yet few feel comfortable asking, even in a doctor's office. Is daily self-stimulation beneficial, or perhaps harmful to your prostate health? I completely understand that just bringing up this topic can feel uneasy for many. Our culture has taught us to treat it with near absolute discretion, as if it's something only for the young or to be left behind as we age. But the truth, and why I'm here, is that modern science shows the frequency of fluid release can have significant, measurable, and largely positive impacts on prostate health. So the big question we'll answer today, backed by solid scientific evidence, is straightforward. Where's the line between a healthy, protective habit and a frequency that might not be ideal for your body? In this video, our goal is to separate myths from reality. I'll show you what recent research, including long-term studies from institutions like Harvard University, has uncovered about the fascinating link between this release and prostate health. By the end of our conversation, my aim is for you to have the clarity and confidence to take charge of your male health in an informed, mature way, free of embarrassment. If you want to understand how such a personal habit can be a powerful ally for aging with better health and quality of life, stick with me until the end. To start, it's essential to understand what the prostate is and why it becomes a focal point as we age. Think of it as a small gland, about the size of a walnut, strategically located just below the bladder, surrounding the upper part of the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of the body. Its primary role is noble, producing prostatic fluid, a vital component of seminal fluid that nourishes, protects, and gives mobility to sperm. As the years go by, the male hormonal balance naturally shifts. Testosterone, though still present, starts converting into a more potent byproduct, dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. Think of DHT as a fertilizer for prostate cells, stimulating their continuous growth. This process leads to an extremely common, almost universal condition called benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. Let me stress this clearly. BPH is not cancer. However, the gland's growth can compress the urethra, like a ring that's become too tight for your finger. This compression causes those symptoms that quietly erode quality of life. Hesitation when starting to urinate, a weak or interrupted stream, the frustrating feeling of incomplete bladder emptying that sends you back to the bathroom minutes later, and of course the most notorious symptom, nocturia, the need to wake up multiple times at night, disrupting what should be restorative sleep. The statistics are striking. By age 60, about 60% of men experience BPH symptoms. By 80, that number jumps to nearly 90%. This is where the frequency of fluid release enters the story. Many men report in the doctor's office, based on personal experience, that an active, intimate life seems to ease these symptoms. But is this just a personal impression, or is there solid science behind it? Let's break down the 6 key benefits science has uncovered in detail. First, fluid renewal in the prostate. One of the most robust theories is fluid stagnation. The prostate is constantly producing and storing its fluid. Without regular release, this fluid can become stagnant. Over time, stagnation can lead to the buildup of old secretions, discarded cells, small calcifications, and even potentially inflammatory substances. Release acts, metaphorically, like a system flush, an internal cleanup that expels accumulated material. A landmark Harvard study, which tracked over 30,000 men for nearly 2 decades, reached a surprising conclusion. Men who experienced this release 21 times or more per month had up to a 33% lower risk of developing prostate issues compared to those with a frequency of 4 to 7 times. The core hypothesis is that keeping the ducts clear reduces the gland's exposure to agents that could, over time, trigger inflammation. Second, improved pelvic circulation. Think of this activity as a targeted, highly beneficial exercise. The process of arousal and climax triggers a significant temporary increase in blood flow to the entire pelvic region. This oxygen and nutrient-rich blood nourishes not just the prostate, but also the bladder, nerves, and pelvic floor muscles. This vascular workout helps maintain tissue elasticity and health, improves nerve sensitivity and function, and strengthens the muscles controlling both urination and male vascular response. Keeping this vital area well oxygenated is a key strategy for long-term regional health. Third, stress reduction and hormonal regulation. Climax is one of the most powerful neurochemical events our body can experience. It triggers a cascade of feel-good hormones and neurotransmitters like dopamine, linked to reward, endorphins, our natural painkillers, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone. At the same time, it helps lower cortisol, the notorious stress hormone. Chronic stress is a known trigger for inflammation throughout the body, and the prostate is particularly sensitive to it. So, by using this personal practice as a conscious relaxation tool, you're actively fighting systemic inflammation and, in turn, improving the environment in which your prostate functions. Fourth, maintaining desire and brain function. Intimate interest isn't just about the organs. It originates and is controlled by the brain. Desire relies on a complex neurohormonal feedback loop. Regular practice keeps these neural pathways active, responsive, and strong. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more efficient it becomes. This practice sends a constant signal to the brain that intimacy remains relevant, helping preserve interest and drive. Long periods without any stimulation can make these neural pathways less efficient, making it harder to reignite desire later. Fifth, supporting male intimate health. The health of the male organ depends directly on the health and flexibility of its internal tissues, the corpora cavernosa. Blood flow to the region, which occurs during the vascular response, ensures these tissues are regularly filled with oxygenated blood. Without frequent stimulation, the tissue can undergo a process called fibrosis, where it loses elasticity and becomes stiffer. Think of a rubber band drying out over time. This can make achieving and maintaining firmness more challenging in the future. The biological principle of use it or lose it applies perfectly here. Regular self-stimulation acts as a form of natural physiotherapy, a maintenance exercise that preserves tissue health and local vascular function. Sixth, promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. Sleep quality is, without a doubt, a cornerstone of health, especially after 50. The combination of deep muscle relaxation post-climax and the release of hormones like prolactin creates a natural, pleasant state of drowsiness. For men already struggling with insomnia or whose sleep is disrupted by nighttime bathroom trips, using this relaxation practice as a pre-bed ritual can be a powerful, natural, side effect-free tool to improve the quality and depth of rest. Now, it's critical and responsible to address the other side of the coin, the risks of excess and persistent myths. The significant benefits I've outlined apply to a healthy, balanced, and mindful practice. The problem, as with anything in life, comes with compulsion and lack of moderation. The first risk is dependence on online adult content. Excessive consumption of hyper-intense visual stimuli can desensitize the brain's dopamine circuits. This means the brain gets used to needing stronger stimuli, making real-life intimacy less appealing and potentially leading to difficulties in real-world responses. The second risk is physical irritation of the prostate. While regular release is beneficial, excessive and overly vigorous practice, multiple times a day, can cause mechanical inflammation, leading to a condition that causes pelvic pain, burning during urination, and general discomfort. Your body sends signals. Third, there's fatigue and energy depletion. Fluid release is a physiological event that consumes bodily resources. In older men, recovery capacity is naturally lower. Overdoing it can lead to feelings of exhaustion, lethargy, and reduced energy for daily activities. We also need to debunk persistent myths. Science does not confirm that this practice causes problems. On the contrary, the strongest evidence, like Harvard's, suggests it can help protect the prostate. It doesn't permanently deplete testosterone. Only temporary natural fluctuations occur post-climax. with the body quickly restoring levels. And of course, it doesn't cause blindness or make hair grow on your hands. Old myths with no scientific basis. So, what's the final verdict of our conversation? Regular, balanced, and mindful self-stimulation is broadly beneficial for prostate health and overall male well-being. The ideal frequency isn't a one-size-fits-all magic number. Harvard's reference, 21 times per month, is valuable statistical data, not a medical prescription. The most important thing is consistency and, above all, listening to your body. If the practice brings relaxation, pleasure, and well-being, it's healthy for you. If it causes pain, excessive fatigue, or negatively impacts your life and relationships, it's a clear sign of overdoing it. The issue is never the act itself, but compulsion, reliance on external stimuli, or using it as an escape from emotional challenges. I sincerely hope this conversation has shed light and clarified your questions about such an important topic. If this content was valuable to you, please give it a thumbs up so YouTube recognizes its relevance and shares it with more men who could benefit from this information. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our upcoming videos. Now, I want to hear from you. Use the comment section and tell me, what other myths or questions about men's health would you like me to address in a future video? Your input is key to building a community of healthier, better informed, and more confident men. Always remember, knowledge is your most powerful tool for taking care of your health. Replace shame with information. A big hug, and I'll see you in our next video.